All right. Well, 4 out of 6 points on the trip, but a couple of tough teams you played against. I'm wondering where, in your opinion, Providence ranks among some of the tougher teams you've seen this year.
Yeah, they're good. They're right up there. I mean, they defend well. They've got high skill, and they'll make you pay if you give them opportunities. So it's definitely a good test. And I thought for the majority of those two games, we played a pretty good game. Obviously, those shorthanded goals against ended up costing us in the first night, and a lull in the second period cost us in the second night. But lots of good moments to build on, and you'd like to have gotten at least a win there, but to get 2 points and some building blocks. I thought our team showed again. You can play with anybody, and there were I liked probably 5 out of those 6 periods that we played, and it was just a good two good teams at this time of year that were competing against each other hard, and we didn't back down. So there's lots of positives and hopefully some confidence that can come from that, knowing that we can compete and beat anybody.
A couple of big goals there late in those games from Trey Fix-Wolanski. Of course, that's great to have a guy who can step up in those clutch moments, but how do you guys get maybe just a little bit more consistent offense throughout the game going forward here?
Well, that's our next step, and it's not even necessarily consistent offense, but you come out well and take a 2-0 lead, and then I really liked our first period, and that's in that Sunday game, and and then you have to understand teams are going to push, and we were on our heels for the majority of that second period. So that's the next step for us in our process of growing and maturing as a group, is playing the same way all the time, regardless of bounces, regardless of calls, regardless, and being able to absorb those pushes a little bit better.
How can you guys get Carson Meyer going a little bit? Maybe he's got 1 point in his last 4, I think 2 in his last 9 games.
Just for Cars, you don't focus on the results too much. I thought he played hard all weekend. Had some opportunities, it didn't go for him.
Yeah.
Can't get frustrated, and that's been a step for him, I think, and as we've had him here over the last several years, is not evaluating or changing your game based on the result on that production. It's directly tied to his physical involvement, his hard to play against, his getting on pucks, and he's a guy that could score 7 goals in the next 9 games just as quickly.
Yeah.
So we're just focusing with him on the underlying foundation rather than those numbers. I'm not worried about him. He's playing the right way. He's matured as a player and understands that better. So he's just got to keep doing his thing. Pucks will go in for him sooner than later.
5-0 against Toronto, but a bunch of close games in there, and obviously skill on the other side. What are the keys for you guys in terms of your execution if you're going to make it 6-0?
Yeah, well, you got to disrupt up the ice. They want time and space. They want to possess it, so you have to get on them. You've got to get your shoulder into those battles, and you got to track back, because they'll come across the ice. They'll make all these beautiful plays if you let them. So you've got to be tracking back and making it hard for them to transport the puck up the ice. And you got to be physical in our defensive end, because they'll get the motion going and can put you in a blender down there. So you've got to protect a good ice hard in front of our net and kill those plays physically, so we can try to avoid them kind of swirling around in the zone with what they do best. Any
particular things you try to do against a huge goaltender in terms of physical size like Dennis Oldeby?
You take his eyes, get there for the second and third. It's not rocket science. You want to obviously make him work for his saves. Take his eyes away. It doesn't matter how big you are. If you can't see it, it's going to be more difficult, and be coming to those hard areas for those second and third opportunities. We know he's a good goaltender, and a lot of times he might make that first save, but to keep pressuring him and hopefully investing with the shots and the traffic and wearing him down as the game goes along.
All right. Well, thanks for this. Good luck to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.